it is, ladies and gentlemen, a piece of the future that you can already reach out and touch. It's not a response to change, but a vehicle that will create it. Not a crescendo, but a prelude. No one's descendant, but the first in line. The Cupra Tavascan is no longer a dream, it's now one of us. So that's the vision. Now let's talk to the creators of the Cupra Tavascan. Werner, it's over to you.
So thank you, Wayne. I'm one of us since 3 years now, and currently I have the coolest job of my life. I can make dreams come true. As Wayne just explained, the Cupra Tavascan is the first hero for a new era designed and developed in Barcelona. Based on the Group MEB platform, the Tavascan integrates the latest technologies in a car designed for people who love to drive. 2 months ago, we were in Sweden testing on slippery conditions. My favorite one, the all-wheel drive version. It was a complete fun experience. It was a show on snow. With ESC off, you can go all this time sidewise. Very exciting. Next test was on tarmac and racetrack. Even more fun. With the 21-inch performance tires, the car showed its full potential. Thanks to our special chassis application, the Cupra is a full driving experience. And even with this very sporty setup of this car, you can go for some off-road sections. But now we come to the important thing, our extraordinary design. For this, I would like to ask our famous head of Cupra design, Jorge Diaz, to take over and explain the new DNA. Please, Jorge.
So, thank you, Werner. It's a real pleasure to be here in Berlin. You know, Wayne always asks me to shock the members of the board with our design. When we show a new proposal for a future model, sometimes someone say, maybe this is too much, or somehow that could polarize. But when you want to create something unique, when you want to create a strong personality, you cannot please everybody. Pleasing everyone will mean to lose your identity, to lose your soul, and that is not a Cupra. Being one of us allows me to believe without being afraid, pushing without thinking what the people will say, following our path, and not always our own way. And that is exactly what we did here with the design of the Cupra Tavascan. Look at the front of the car. As you know, the eyes determine our expression. They show character, determination, and as well, intelligence. First, the triangular light signature you can see here. This is a new icon that for the first time ever as well, with the illuminated logo, create a strong identity of Cupra. One of the most characterful parts of the car, of the front, is what we call it the front mask. You can see here the dark area on the front of the vehicle. This, like a superhero, provides a sporty, a unique identity. As well, our sensual surfaces of the bonnet create in a V-shape, create the maximum tension all around the front. Now, if you follow to the side, I will explain you a bit the amazing proportion of the car. So the side of the Tavascan has extremely sporty proportions. We have a 4,64 length with the big wheels actually located very on the corners, creating a short overhangs on the front and in the rear. For us, for designers, this is always a sign of sportiness. Our A-pillar, you feel it here, always push the cabin forward, and as well, make that the roof look almost floating on top of the car. A dropping line that actually creates this coupe effect that provides a maximum feeling of speed. As well, the weight line that is coming from the rear, pushing forward, they create such a nice sculptural and combination of light and shadow. Extremely sensual surface all around the Cupra Tavascan. If you come to the rear, we would say that believes that actually the center of everything is the logo. It somehow is like the heart of the car. And for this reason, from the logo illuminated as well, they express the light to the corners, creating a very emotional design. As well, the integrated spoiler creates the perfect downforce, and as well, together with the iconic seats on the side, the perfect aerodynamic performance. Something that as well provides the perfect stance on the road. So now, if we talk about the interior of the car, so the Cupra Tavascan presents a revolutionary design based on three main elements. The first one, the center spine. For us, this is like a piece of art. The most iconic piece of this interior that saw the skeleton that support the whole dashboard. The second, the copper blade, designed this time in a V shape, dynamic blade that maximizes the feeling of speed in the cabin. As you know, the copper is our brand ID material. We use it actually to highlight all the themes of design. And finally, the third level, the top of the dashboard that treated as a floating wing which complete the sculptural and futuristic interior. For designers, it's very important to have what we call it the wow effect, something that the people really, when they sit inside, they feel in love somehow. And this we do it actually applying what we call the magic elements. One of them, the progressive ambient light with a parametric patterns on the doors that create an immersive experience. Another one, when you sit in the car, the driver-oriented central display, which is easy to use, intuitive, and with improved performance. The sporty progressive seats with fading perforation optimize ergonomics and reach a new limits of sportiness. All of this create a unique and characterful design language of the Cupra Tavascan. Thank you very much, and now welcome back to Bernard to the stage.
So thank you very much, Jorge, for this emotional design presentation. Now it's time to put some figures behind the emotions. So the Tavascan will be available in two different setups. The endurance version with 210 kilowatts and the VZ with 250 kilowatts. The Tavascan VZ adds dual motor all-wheel drive with the following peak power outputs. Rear motor 210 kilowatts, front motor 80 kilowatts. With this, we can send up to 30% of the vehicle's power to the front, making sure that we have the best in case of performance and traction. Add to this impressive torque of 545 newton meters in the rear and 134 newton meters in the front. With these values, you can really expect a very, very agile car. Let's talk about acceleration, because it's still the common value. 50 kilometers per hour we reach after 2.4 seconds, and 0 to 100 in 5.6 seconds. The whole setup of the Tavascan makes him an unforgettable driving experience. But when we talk about electric cars, key factors are also range and charging times. The Tavascan provides enough capacity for a range up to 550 kilometers thanks to the 77 kilowatt-hour net battery. In terms of charging, you can add 100 kilometers of range in just 7 minutes, and you can charge from 10 to 80% in half an hour. Listening to our customer feedbacks and to your feedback in many discussions, we also included regenerative pedal shifts, being able to choose up to 4 levels, so that in many occasions you don't even have to use the brakes. I must say, the Cupra Tavascan proves that we can create emotional cars which are fun to drive. And now, I would like to ask Arantxa Alonso, Senior Product Manager of Tavascan in China, to join me on stage to talk about the production.
Hi, Werner. Hi, everyone.
Hello, Arantxa. You just have arrived on time from China to join us here for the show. So what are your first impressions?
That's right. In fact, I have to confess to you that I managed to convince my husband, my 2 teenagers, and even my 2 dogs to come over all the way to China to make sure that we can make this dream come true. Because I'm also one of us, and I'm not the only one. There is a fantastic team back there who is helping me to do this, a team of Cupra lovers who are also making this possible. But let's go back to the Tavascan. We know as a Cupra has been designed and developed in Barcelona. But when it comes to production, we decided to produce it in China.
So your dogs have to learn Chinese now. So,
Yes.
But why do we go with the car to China?
That's a good question. China has become a leading market in terms of e-mobility, and Anhui is a fast-growing region in which technology and innovation around mobility is the focus. That's the place in which the Volkswagen new production plan is set, where we're going to produce the Cupra Tavascan. It is in fact going to be the first car rolling out of that factory. We are the pioneers. And being in China is an opportunity for us as Cupra brand, because it's the trend-setting market in terms of e-mobility, and we will be able to capture the innovations, as we did with the illuminated logo. We captured that and got it ready for our start of production.
So new car, new factory, all of that produced in China, but with the Cupra spirit we will do it. But let's go back to some further technical highlights, Arantxa. What can we expect in that car?
Well, our Cupra Tavascan is focused on the digital experience of the driver. This is why we have set a 15 inches infotainment system, which is focused towards the driver. It is highly customizable so that you can make it to your likes, and includes the new human-machine interface to make it easy to use while driving. But that's not all, because in the Cupra Tavascan for the first time, we include a 445 watts audio system developed together with our premium sound partner, Sennheiser. And I can really tell you it's going to make a big difference. And remember, the quality of the music or of what you listen to while driving really helps you to boost emotions. And this is what we are about in Cupra.
And Sennheiser is just the start of the journey, so you can expect even more. We also put a lot of assistance systems into the car. So my question to you is, what is your favorite one?
That's a tricky question, because there are so many that is not an easy choice. But yes, I do have one. That's the remote park assist. It's not because I cannot park, of course I can, but sometimes you find a spot which is so narrow that even after putting the car in, then you cannot step out. Then for that, the Cupra Tavascan can help you. You simply need to face the car toward the spot, get off, get your mobile phone, and then finish the parking maneuver with your mobile phone. And then you can really relax, no problem, no risk of damaging your baby when stepping out of the car. So for me, because I love it, that's my favorite one.
Definitely, it's a great feature. So thank you, Arantxa.
Thank you.
So there you have it, the Cupra Tavascan. Our dream has become true, and it's one of us. And with this,
thank you.
Back to you, Wayne.
Thank you, Arantxa. Thank you, Werner. And of course, thank you, Jorge. The launch of the Tavascan is our dream come true for Cupra. And starting next year, our aim is to deliver more than 70,000 Tavascan per year. But until then, now it's time to send the Tavascan back to the garage and continue with the show. So you've seen the Tavascan, but as you can imagine, we're not stopping there. We continue pushing the boundaries of the real world. And that's why during our 4th anniversary last year, we teased the Cupra Exponential Experience, a completely new experience which takes the emotion of driving to a whole new dimension. And to tell you about that, here's Sven, the new COO of Cupra. Sven, over to you.
Thank you, Wayne. After many years within the automotive industry and almost 2 years within SEAT Cupra, I personally can tell you I'm super proud and also honored to be one of us and to be part of the most exciting project within the automotive industry. Ramping up an entirely new brand from Europe, from Barcelona, is for sure a challenge, but it's a hell out of joy and fun, and it's a great experience operating with almost no limitations, no legacy, and being surrounded by so many great, inspiring people every single day. And experience is actually the key word, as I'm right now launching for the first time ever the Cupra Exponential Experience, which is the perfect merger between the real experience driving a Cupra car and the digital virtual reality. So just a few weeks ago, my team invited me to go to Girona and to test it on my own. So Girona is a 45 minutes drive away from Barcelona, Martorell. And when I arrived there, what I saw in front of my eyes was for sure not what I expected. There was no racetrack, not at all. It was just a huge empty parking area. But right in front of me, there was that beauty, the Cupra Urban Rebel race car. And my heart already started to beat a little bit. Why? I really love cars. I love to drive cars. And it would be the first time ever for me to drive that great car. So I just entered the car, fastened the seatbelt. The guy, Ivan, from my team, took the co-driver's seat, gave me latest instructions about the whole system, handed over to me these VR goggles, which I put on my face, and he said, once we switch it on, I'm no more in Girona, I will be in Barcelona, and later on, after crossing a tunnel, I would be in Berlin. I said, okay, let's go. So we switched on the system, switched on the engine, it was super loud, it got hot in the car, I got really excited, and from that moment on, I truly can say, no more Girona, I was totally in that game, which was something like a mix of my PlayStation experience when I was a young kid, but with the real emotions of driving a Cupra car. So I started really to race against me and against the lap time, competing with myself, going faster and faster, and honestly, I really didn't want to stop. That day, I can tell you, was one of the real coolest days in my entire life. Remembering the only 3 things you need is space, maybe a huge empty parking area, a car, a Cupra for sure, and that VR Google set. But one thing is missing, it's the 4th element. It's the driver. And tonight, I'm super happy that we do have a much better driver than I am here with us. He's an ambassador, he's a champion, he's the world champion of the ETCR 2022. It's Arian Tombe. Please, Arian, come to me. Good to see you again. So Arian, I know you drive like hell, you love drive cars, but you also tested that system. So what's the difference between driving a real race car on a real racetrack versus the Cupra Exponential Experience?
Thank you, Sven. Hello, everybody. As race driver, we are used to the virtual world. We are used to use simulators to train and to improve our real world, meaning the physics and the performance of our cars. So we are pretty familiar to the gamified world, but this experience is taking us to a completely next level, the level of feeling the physics of a real race car by staying in a gamified world, going from Berlin to Barcelona in just a fraction of a second. But the best is you check it out by yourself.
So looks like fun, but that was not you, I know it. So let's talk about the technology, because many people might think, okay, we got faced with the so-called motion sickness wearing these VR goggles while driving a car. So how did we overcome these things?
So I have to say, first thing is we have the best engineers at Cupra. So they worked really hard in the last few weeks and months, especially to overdo the tracking issues of the headset, tracking the physical behavior of the car to make it match the virtual car, what you see on the Googles. And I have to say the result is pretty mega.
Cool. And I honestly can prove it. Let's talk about the future. Where do you see the potential for Cupra exponential experience? For sure, it will never be a substitute, but maybe once you are getting older, my friend, and get retired, maybe you only do this one, or what could be an idea?
I am pretty sure it's the next step, maybe for a new discipline in motorsport, who knows, but what is for sure is that it is pushing boundaries like Cupra is always doing.
For sure we will do. So, for sure, I need to send you back, but I wish you all the best for the upcoming races. Give me some time that I personally get better, and then we're going to meet again and compete against each other. Thank you, Adrian.
Thank you.
So as I said, we just launched the idea today, and we are currently working on to scale it and to make it more accessible to as many people as possible around the globe. And just think about maybe it could be a future format of a new kind of championship. Remembering it's the perfect merger of what you feel is what you drive, and what you see is the virtual digital world. And digital is exactly the key word. After having the physical experience and the dream come true of a Tavascan, the second dream, the Cupra exponential experience, I think it's time for the next dream to come true. And therefore, I would love to invite my lovely colleague Patrick here on stage. Patrick, stage is yours.
Thank you, Sven, and good afternoon, everybody. I'm Patrick, and I'm also one of us. And I joined in freedom inside Cupra to convert crazy ideas and crazy outfits into crazy realities. I'm very excited to present MetaHype today, an open and collaborative space within the metaverse. And you may wonder whether this is just another virtual world. And I can say the answer is no. MetaHype is a space not just for Cupra, but for brands, startups, and creators to connect with the next generation. And today, I'm proud to announce that MetaHype is alive. With this project, we want to redefine how people live experiences, unleash their creativity, and feel emotions without the limits of the physical world. That's what we call exponential you.
Somehow, we've come to believe existence is limited to what we've been told is real. That our emotions are confined to the boundaries of the physical realm. But the only real thing is that you're only limited by your mind and your own beliefs. The more you push the barriers of existence, the more you find new ways for self-expression. The more you embrace emotions you have not felt yet, the more exponentially you feel. Don't limit the limitless. Welcome to the exponential you. MetaHype.
Thank you very much. Thanks, Alba, for joining the stage. You have to know, Alba is our MetaHype legend at Cupra. So could you explain how we translate the exponential you concept into MetaHype?
Sure, Patrick, and hello, hypers. I'm also one of us, and we want to create new worlds and new dimensions for Cupra. So inside MetaHype, we have the opportunity to be whoever you want to be. So thanks to the avatar configurator, users could create their own virtual identity even before landing to the MetaHype island.
But what happens once you step on the island? I imagine you don't reserve a spot on the beach with your virtual towel.
Good joke, Patrick, but no. The first time that you access the platform, you land at MetaHype Square, where users, we call them hypers, will receive the MetaHype passport. It is a dynamic NFT that shows the user reputation. Hypes can unlock additional experiences and new avatar skills.
So you mentioned the MetaHype Square, but I think now it's time to enter the Cupra district.
Yeah, so let's enter. We have developed a whole district for Cupra that consists of 5 different spaces. The Cupra Plaza is the perfect spot to meet friends and see what's going on. And does it need to remind you of something? The welcome area outside is inspired by the virtual Cupra Plaza. The second space is Cupra Racing, at least for me, one of my favorites, where users can experience our different racing models and challenge our professional drivers, like Adrian or Clara, in different racing games. But Patrick, are you ready to beat our professional drivers?
I think I'm not ready for it, but I will try my best. And I'm definitely a far better dancer, but I will let you, Alba, and also you judge later. So let's continue with our current product lineup. For this purpose, we have developed the third space, the Cupra MetaHype City Garage, the virtual reinterpretation of our physical Cupra city garages. Hypers can deep dive into our model range and meet with Cupra Masters to explore our portfolio. But Alba, I think we are missing somehow the Cupra lifestyle. So that's definitely more your territory.
I know, and I think that someone has been inspired by my outfit today, and I'm not talking about my avatar. So the fourth space is the Cupra Hub. Here, hypers will be able to meet our ambassadors, like Daniel Brühl or Mark ter Stegen, or just browse around the Cupra Collection boutique and discover our latest merchandising products and collaborations. But a real highlight is our dancing challenge. And wow, Patrick, I need to say that I quite like your dance moves.
I have to say, I told you I was good, but I think that's my exponential you. But later, during the Cupra night, we will try our best.
We need to check it. So finally, there is the Cupra Next, our fifth space dedicated to the future of Cupra.
MetaHype is all about collaboration and creating communities. That's why we have developed social and communication functions to boost engagement between hypers. And I'm excited to announce today that Primavera Sound is one of the first partners to join MetaHype with a gamified DJ Academy that we will launch soon to impulse the new generation of music lovers.
Finally, how do you access? MetaHype will be available via desktop on metahype.com and really soon as well on mobile. Nove, it's our first virtual citizen and is already waiting for you. So we invite you all to sign up to MetaHype, be a member, and be one of us. So thank you very much, everyone. And now back to you, Wayne.
Thank you, Alba. Thank you, Patrick. Ladies and gentlemen, after 5 years of building Cupra in today's world, it's now time to talk about tomorrow. To think about our next dream, something that will guide our vision and will always be 2 steps ahead. As I said, we are rebels, rebels with a cause. And that cause is derived from that inner motivation to express emotions to the maximum. So our next dream must be a revolutionary one. One of us to stand out, to stand up, and to stand for something. Ladies and gentlemen, the Dark Rebel. So, ladies and gentlemen, the Dark Rebel, as I said, is the ultimate interpretation of Cupra's design for the future. Just like the Dark Knight, it's mysterious and one of the outlaws that stands out from the crowd, the black sheep of the flock. Loved by a few rather than liked by everybody. A rebel with a purpose to prove that electric cars in the future can be sexy, provocative, and certainly not boring. Unfiltered, 100% Cupra DNA with its roots in motorsport. And that's why the Dark Rebel, it's no coincidence that the Dark Rebel is making its digital debut here in Berlin during the Formula E this weekend. Now, Jorge, you said before, I always tell you, you need to shock me. And I think this time you certainly did.
Thank you, Wayne. Our main goal in Cupra is to create desire, to boost your emotions, and to make you feel with all the senses. And to feel with all the senses is a key to have an exponential experience, lifting the volumes of emotions, this time without no limit or conditions. Today, actually, we don't present a virtual car. We present a dream that represents what we are and who we want to be. And everything starts when you look into its eyes. There's so strong character and determination. Look at the triangular light signature, our brand icon, that this time a new approach that emerged from the body, bringing the car alive. Our center spine, this time in the exterior of the Dark Rebel, that connects the front and the rear as the core of the skeleton of this 100% electric sport car. The weight impulse that saw the pushing attitude to keep fighting for our dreams and always pushing forward. A new totally architecture combining the best of two worlds. Something that we love to do in Cupra to create new concepts. And in this case, the athletic proportions of a sport car combined with a shooting brake architecture. Our now very famous helmet concept with an emphasized progressive curvature that inspires the driver to look forward in a very sporty way. Look now at the long, endless bonnet. It has a narrow shape that provides the maximum feeling of speed, creating an extremely attractive proportion. A radical and sharper than ever front end is spanning the nose of a shark, creating stroke negative surfaces, which mean for us breaking through resistance. As you know, we always push for sensual surfaces, but this time with a strong combination of sharp lines that create actually the maximum tension that stresses the concentration of energy. At the interior, our drive-oriented radical interior is inspired in our Formula E racing car. Focus all the elements in just yourself. The core of the interior with an asymmetric structural center spine with a mix of naked materials and skin type of surfaces. Progressive bucket seats that are totally, fully integrated in the floor of the Dark Rebel interior. At Cupra, you know that we love to drive, so that's why we focus in two core elements. The first one, the progressive gamifying steering wheel, and the second, to connect the human with the machine, and only one. As an emotional brand, we engage all the human senses to boost your feelings, from the way you experience the progressive materials, the sound, the sense, the projections on the surfaces, taking your emotions, this time, to the maximum. Designed to enter a new way where desire, emotion, and pushing the limit is our driving force. Welcome to a dream that we want to co-create with all of you, our people, make you feel one of us. Now, my colleague, the head of current team and the strategy, Francesca Sangalli, will tell you how to create your very own experience. Thank you.
Thank you, Jorge. Hi, everyone. I'm one of us, because I love to search for new ways, and that's why today I'm going to show you the potential of the virtual world to enhance creativity, boost imagination, and amplify the senses. I'm going to show you how, with this very first show car, we go beyond the constraints of materiality, and we expand the design to intensify the experience. I'm going to show you how you can contribute in co-creating with us the future of the Dark Rebel. And to do so, we have created a kind of virtual lab, the so-called hyperconfigurator, where you can push your creativity without the limitation of the material world. In the hyperconfigurator, you can interact in different virtual environments and experiment creating unseen colors, materials, and finishes with extraordinary results. Cupra Hyperconfigurator provides tools enabling you to create your very own version of the show car, empowering you to inspire and contribute to the future of Cupra design. Depending on your mood, so if you feel with your feet on the ground, or your foot on the accelerator, or with your head in the clouds, in the Hyperconfigurator, you can choose between 3 environments: the exponential square, exponential cube, and the exponential infinite, in which you can transform the show cars and create your very own Dark Rebel. So once you choose one of the 3, you will be able to experiment with the colors, graphics, and effects on that model. For instance, if you choose the exponential square, you can leave the raw value of Cupra design, inspired by natural elements like minerals and stones. Here, the Cupra raw texture and earthy color can be experienced and challenged by the user in the hyperconfigurator. If you choose exponential cube, it means you got a soft spot for the racing world. So here, the digital aesthetics of neon-like glow, algorithmic movements, parametric geometries, and fluorescent light can be experimented with. So sleek and vibrant, orthogonal and fluid at the same time. If finally you want more dreamlike experience, then you must choose exponential infinite. It's the highest level of exponentiality, and disconnect from reality and embrace an otherworldly and surreal universe with no constraints whatsoever with the physical world. The environments and material choices are dominated by this ethereal field, creating a fully realized metaverse. You can actively contribute in co-creating and influencing the final design of the Dark Rebel by making your own configuration right here using the screens that you find in the welcome area. Your input will be taken into account in the creation of the final model. And once you have completed the configurator, you can share videos and images of your very unique model. And before finishing, I would like to invite Wayne back on stage so he can show you his very own version of the Cupra Dark Rebel.
Thank you, Francesca. The Cupra Dark Rebel is not a prediction, it's a provocation. It shows how design is no longer a process, but rather a dialogue. And that the designer is no longer a personality, but rather a tribe of collaborators. Now this is the Dark Rebel I've created in the Hyper configurator, my Dark Rebel. It embodies the brand's core values and represents the personification of our DNA, of Cupra's DNA. It's my vision of the future, my next personal dream, and as you know, we make dreams come true, so you better be ready. Ladies and gentlemen, tonight, all of you here have witnessed a milestone in Cupra's history. We've come a long way in only 5 years, and most of the dreams we had back then have become a lot bigger along the way. Nothing embodies that spirit more than the Cupra Tavascan. The Tavascan is not just another car for us, it's one of us. Not a response to change, but the car that creates it. And tonight, we've also shown you how Cupra is breaking the boundaries between the physical and digital worlds, and that our next dream takes our ambition to a totally new level, the Cupra Dark Rebel. Now, for many people, the future is frightening, an uncertain dystopia beyond our control. But for the Cupra tribe, it's different. We know exactly where we are going. And while we may not know exactly how we will get there, one thing's for sure. Like Bowie said, I promise you it's not going to be boring. We are the rebels, the brave ones, the crazy ones, and the strongest of the strange. This is Cupra. It is unstoppable, exponential. It is one of us. Thank you and good night.